powerful testimonies of individuals who have found out that they can reverse, recover, and restore their health and their wealth, but definitely their health. And we're going to do that this morning. But what we're going to do, what I have the great honor and privilege to do, is to introduce someone to you this morning who's going to host our call. And she's actually, she's a millennial. She's just 21 years old. Beautiful, powerful, entrepreneurial Black woman already. She's a flight attendant in school. She was a star basketball and volleyball player. Believe it or not, she's actually a licensed cosmetologist. That's right, entrepreneurial spirit already, if you hear what I'm saying. Again, I said she's a flight attendant. So she's one of those that still has an opportunity to do things now. She went to film school, folks. That's right, she's a budding actress on the way. And she sings like an angel. By the way, her name is Angel. So I'm going to get out of the way of greatness, and I'm going to introduce to you and put before you my spiritual granddaughter, the wonderful, the powerful Miss Angel Creekmore. Angel, are you on the line? Angel, are you there? You want to unmute yourself?
Hello, hello. I am definitely here. Good morning.
Good morning. It is all yours, and I'm right here anytime you need me.
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me today, and I am very honored to be before you guys today for today's testimonial call. So first and foremost, is Pastor Giselle Johnny on the line? So you guys, please forgive me. I apologize for being a little all over the place. This is new to me, but I'm going to give it my best because that's what I am taught to do. I am going to talk about a little bit of what's been going on with me and how the products have been helping me out. I deal with indigestion problems. So whenever I eat a little afterwards, I'd always be in a lot of pain. So I had to switch a lot of the food that I ate to softer things that could be broken down easier so that my stomach would not hurt. But after using the products, I have a regular smooth move.
There you go.
And it really keeps me regular and it keeps me from being in a lot of different pains. So I'm very grateful for the product doing this for me. A lot of problems actually do start in the stomach area, a lot of sicknesses. Hello. But yes, a lot of the problems that go on in the body do start in the stomach area. So to know that the products do help in that area and help you when you are in pain and going through different things, that just really amazes me even more. And it makes me just want to continue with this journey and continue doing great things. And it's also helped with my beautiful skin, you guys, if you guys can see my lovely skin. So yes, I'm very, very thankful for the products to really help. And it's just not helping with my stomach, it's reversing everything. I'm losing weight, I'm being protected. I feel more energy in the morning when I wake up, and I'm not a morning person. If you're not gonna wake me up at 4 in the morning to talk to me, then you're gonna have to wait till 9. I'm just not that morning person. And it's helping me to have energy. It's helping me to do more. I want to work out. I want to be active. I want to be all over the place and in people's faces. It helps me with my focus because I'm the type of person I can lose focus on things, or I will be doing so many things at one time that I'm like, okay, now what do I need to go back to and finish? Or what is finished, what doesn't, have the attention that it needs to so that I can get it done. But I am very thankful for these products. And now we are going to move on to our testimonials. Is Pastor Giselle Johnny on the line?
Okay. Great morning, Queen Angel. I can't hear anyone. Great morning, Queen Angel. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fabulous. Fantastic.
Yes,
Every day I have new energy when a new woman gets on this call and gets inspired, their mind, their health, their life, and their money changes.
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to step out your way. I apologize. So
That's all right.
I heard that you have a powerful testimony of what's been going on with you and how the products have really changed your life.
Yes, ma'am. So let me make it really, really, really quick. I'm Pastor Giselle Johnny from
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago, currently residing in New York. And I would have, let me tell you, struggled since 2017 with a lot of issues like a blood clot, thyroid goiter, oxygen not going to my brain, fainting spells. Last July, I was hospitalized and fainting every day. And when I got to the hospital, there were so many issues, a syncope, the blood pooling in my legs, digestive problems, leaky gut. And so with all of that, I was looking for an answer. And so my dear friend, Queen Rhonda Isaac, worked on me with her naturopathic, amazing ability. And I got back to like 50%, but it was still a real struggle. And so last November, when I got to Florida, let me tell you, in 1 week, my life was transformed. From the first pack of Balaj that I had, the first sachet, I started feeling better. And my girl, the rest is history. So I am no longer allergic to gluten and a whole lot of foods. I no longer have that large goiter, and I'm 80% back to normal. And guys, I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, coming back from Florida, it was a new woman. And recently, having been attacked by the coronavirus, it was really, really, really difficult. And I reached out to two amazing leaders, and I'm not ashamed to say Queen Dr. Helen, and reached out to Queen Rhonda. And I realized when they told me, take the Inner Seven, take the Balaj, and take the Crenui together, that these products are really, really more amazing than I thought. Because in just 5 days, from not being able to breathe, blood in the stool, let's just be real, because people are going to go through these things, respiratory distress, in 5 days, everything was reversed and I'm back to normal. And so I am even more passionate, has this burning desire to let people know their life, their health, their money, everything can be transformed by coming to Sankey Global. Thank you so much, Queen Angel. Have a blessed day.
Wow, wow, wow. That was an amazing testimony. Wow. And I'm really glad that you were able to feel better and use those products in those ways. Now, exactly how many Balages would you take a day in the morning when you weren't feeling good, or just throughout the day altogether?
So Queen Angel, let me tell you, I have just been doing one Crenui, one Balaj, one Inner Seven, and my Hasaki. Sometimes I do the Hasaki twice a day, but with the coronavirus, I had the mixture, drinking it 3 times a day. And in 5 days, every single thing was totally, totally knocked off. The muke, the liquid in the lungs, everything in 5 days. But usually I do one of my product every day, and I'm getting these amazing results. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I just have one more question for you. When you were dealing with the coronavirus, did you take your products cold or did you take them hot?
Well, I was taking my product the regular recommended way until when I reached out to the leaders. Oh, and I forgot, even Queen Fabi had sent that information as well, that you mix the three together. And when I started doing that hot, the three of them together, that's where the smell, because you can't smell anything, you can't taste anything, you have no appetite. That's where everything started coming back. And by the end of 5 days, everything was back, totally back to normal. So that's what I did. I had it 3 times, the mixture, 3 times to the day when that was happening.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for really just sharing your heart and giving us a piece of what's going on with you today. And I just thank you a lot. That really, really helped me to have a new perspective on a couple of things.
Thank you for allowing me to share, Queen Angel.
Oh, no problem, no problem. The next person that we're going to be bringing on the line is someone I've known pretty much my whole life. I'll say that. And she's had a great impact, just like as many women in my life have. she's had a great impact on me at a young age to just be an amazing woman. And I want to know, is Dr. Ruth Ann Whiteburn on the phone?
I was wondering who you were talking about. I was like, who is Angel talking about? I'm like looking through the list, like, who does she know on this phone for so long? Yes, Queen Angel, I'm on here. What's going on, girl? I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am a little nervous, but I'm going to keep putting my best foot forward like I know how.
I know you got it, girl. I know you got it in you. And you didn't even sing for us. You're supposed to be singing this whole thing. If you sang, you probably wouldn't be nervous at all. You'd be like, how is Dr. Ruth Ann on? You know what I mean?
Definitely. But I'm going to let you go ahead and take us away with your amazing, amazing testimony.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, guys, all I can say is the journey with Sankey Global has definitely been, for me, absolutely amazing, because yes, when you get into a company, at least for me, I believe in becoming that guinea pig. I want to be the person before other persons to try the product. And honestly, initially, a lot of times I know when you get into a company, it is a placebo effect. You think that things are working because you really want them to work. But guys, all I can say is the first day drinking the Balage was the start of something, and I really couldn't believe it when it was happening. I felt that my fingertips had started to tingle, and I was like, that has to be the placebo. It can't be real. And then after starting the products in December, that's when I started noticing it. Literally within a week, I felt the gush, just a gush of energy, like just take over my legs. And my legs had literally just started to feel more like Play-Doh. And when I noticed that, I was like, okay, is this the placebo in my head or not? Within a week and a half, I was able to get up on my knees, something that I'm normally not able to do at all without a what do you call it, a physical therapist and a gait belt. And I was doing this by myself. I noticed as my eye became wider, the one that I'd gone blind in back in 2017. I noticed my right arm started to come back to life. And then even to the point where my spine, I had lost complete feeling from the bottom of my bra line all the way to the bottom of my spine. So across my entire back, I couldn't feel at all. And now I could feel. And these things are happening on a daily basis. My core, OMG, my core has strengthened like none other. It's like literally each layer within my core has basically glued itself back together. And I am blown away by the strength that I know things that I knew I could not do at all, that I'm able to do today. Even to the point where I was picking up my pills with my right hand the other day, literally my pointer finger and my thumb were holding together. And I know these things to everybody is like, okay, but these are things that I couldn't do. My hands looked alien to themselves. Like my fingers would not talk to each other. My fingers had a long distance relationship with each other, and they're coming back together. And these things are so meaningful to me, even to the point where, drinking that Hasaki, I have watched as it is building my the muscle above my knee. And yes, Dr. Franco, I've now finally found 2 photos that show where the indentation was and where it's not anymore. So, it's always good to have the proof. And it always reminds me of when I see Dr. Helen sometimes always over documenting. But I realize over documentation is so important, because when you go to tell your story, sometimes people ain't gonna believe it. Like, I always, whenever I'm talking to your mom, and then she'll say, girl, you wouldn't believe this. And I'm like, no, when it comes to you, I definitely believe it, because things happen that are just unbelievable. But guys, yes, these products are amazing. So back to you, Queen Angel.
Before you go back to Angel, question, Dr. Ruth Ann.
Yes,
We heard
sir.
all that stuff that's going on with you. Could you just tell the folks the actual diagnosis for what you had? We didn't hear that part. They need to know how serious it was.
Yes, sir. Well, lupus, SLE. So I have systemic lupus. I also have something called transverse myelitis. Basically means your myelin sheath is unraveling. And then I have something called NMO, which the old version of that disease is called Dervick's disease. And so it's a sister, or I should say the brother of or cousin of multiple sclerosis, and is considered far worse than multiple sclerosis. So that's my diagnosis. Thank you so much, King Franco.
Yeah, Dr. Fan, I remember many times where you and my mom were running through airports, working together, you just living life. And I want to know, what do you think is in the products that has you feeling the sensation in your legs and moving limbs and waking up ligaments that you thought would never be woken up again?
I think it's honestly cellular nutrition. I really believe that the the way they have fermented their products, the way, the concept behind what Dr. Adias went out to do, which was basically mimic how a centenarian's stomach looks. How can they be healthy after 100? And then he went backwards from there, which I think is amazing. He didn't go out to heal somebody. He actually went out and said, okay, this is what has happened to persons that are over 100. How did it happen? What does their gut look like? Let's mimic that, and then put it into us. And to me, it's cellular nutrition. It's like, to me, it's like stem cell in food. That's how it feels to me. And maybe it isn't, but that's how it feels to me. And you know knowing that you're putting this stuff in that isn't going to be hyperallergenic to you or bother you, and they've used like ancient foods that aren't things that like, it's not like something that's just happening now, or something that's GMO'd or anything. I mean, olive leaves, rosemary, these are things that we use anyway, when we eat, but the way they have made sure to ferment them, because fermentation is so important. So I think that's where it comes from, honestly.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for your testimony. That was phenomenal. So next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna roll over to Houston, Texas, which I love dearly. Mr. Corey Williams, are you on the phone? Hello, Mr. Corey Williams, are you on the line?
Hey, Angel, if he's not there, just go to the next person.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to keep on moving, you guys. And we're going to move on to Dallas. Is Mr. Tim Trahan on the phone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am here.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
hello. Yes, I can hear you. Great day. Good morning. And I hope you had an amazing night's rest. How are you
Oh,
feeling this
absolutely.
morning?
I am doing fantastic. Fantastic. It's always wonderful to see family. I don't even know if you knew we are family, but it's always wonderful to see
Absolutely.
you guys.
Absolutely. Yes, I do know that we are family.
Good, 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 good.
But I'm going to let you go ahead and take us away. And
Sure,
I'm going
sure,
to
sure.
set this
I have
aside.
actually a couple of different things. First, I'll talk about my own personal journey with excuse me, with diabetes, and how long I've been trying to find something that I could take that's natural, that I could put in my body, because I've always been particular about things that I put in my body, especially with me being a former athlete. You always have to be really mindful of what you put in, because certain things that you take could pop up on a drug test. And it might be something as simple as a cold medication or something like that. So I've always been really, really, really particular, because I never wanted to get labeled a cheater, if you will, because a lot of people cheat in athletics, and I was one that never did it. So I've always been super, super, super particular about anything that I put in my body for that reason alone. So I've always sought natural means of healing myself, all the way down to something as simple as an everyday cold. And my wife could tell you that as well. I still, to this day, don't like taking cold medication or all those other things that a lot of other people take. But fast forward to where we are today with Sankey. When Dr. Helen invited me to come down to Florida, I had absolutely no idea of what I was coming to look at, but I trusted her. And if she told me that it was something that I needed to be in front of and I needed to take a serious look at, without a doubt I was going to be there. So, I got there, and the first thing that happened was I was ultra impressed with the technology. And it was refreshing to me. And then, when they did the micro scanner and you were able to actually see the products working, within 15 minutes, to see the cells start to move, and the circulation and the inflammation improving and all that stuff. I was like, wow, this is definitely something that I need to take a look at. So uh started taking the products regularly immediately once I got home, and within a matter of about a week and a half, because I'm a diabetic, I take insulin. I'm an insulin dependent diabetic, been so for probably since about maybe 2001 or so. I've been on insulin. So but what I started noticing was I was waking up in the middle of the night, and my blood sugar was extremely low. And I was like, wow. And usually when that happens, I know it has to do something with my dosage, right? So, I didn't think about the Sankey products at that point. But one night I woke up and my blood sugar was lower than low. It was about 57, and that's really really low for a diabetic, especially if you're insulin dependent diabetic. Usually you want to stay somewhere between about 97 and 115, where I was at about 50 57. And I was I was sweating. My hands were shaking, so I jumped up in the middle of the night. I hurry up and drank me a half a cup of orange juice to stabilize myself. And then in the morning, I told my wife what was going on, and she was like, "Well, you've been taking the Sankey products pretty regularly. Maybe you need to, back off on your dosage of insulin a little bit." And I was like, "You know what? You're probably right." So that's what I did, and that's what it was. Because of how the products are actually formulated, and what they're doing inside your system, as far as bringing us back into homeostasis, creating that bioavailability that our body needs, and helping the body to do exactly what it says: reverse, recover, and restore. That's what was going on inside my body. My body was actually reversing, recovering, and restoring itself. It was, doing that inside my pancreas, and therefore my body didn't need the level of insulin that it once needed. So, as a result of that, I'm virtually off of, because I was on two different insulins. I'm virtually off of one of them, and the other insulin I'm only taking a half of dosage of that, and it's just because of the product. So, I'm a firm believer, because of that. That's why I'm continually getting better and better. And I was told by physicians that, once your pancreas starts to work at a deficit, if you will, that it's a progressive disease. So other things start to happen as a result of it. But that's not the truth. And I don't think they deliberately were telling me untruths, but I just think that they don't know that the body could do what it does. Like Dr. Franco says all the time, God developed this magnificent body to be able to heal itself, and certain things that's put in nature is designed to do just that. It's designed to help the body do the things that it does, and because of the formulation of the products and what's in the products, it's doing exactly that. It's reversing my pancreas, it's restoring my pancreas, and it's bringing me back to that state of homeostasis that we talk about, or balance. And that's just a fantastic thing. So that's my personal testimony with it. But I also talked to a really good doctor friend of mine who's also a journey pioneer, Dr. Marie, and she was actually suffering symptoms from the coronavirus, as well as her daughter, who was in New York, who just came back to Texas as well. And both of them were actually starting to get the scratchy throat, the fever, losing the taste in their mouth, and all of that stuff, all of the symptoms that was saying that the coronavirus was there. And, she really, really, really started paying attention and drinking the Belage and the Inner Seven. And within 5 days, those symptoms had dissipated as well. So she actually called me at the end of that period, and she was like, Tim, what is in the Balage and the Inner 7? Can you send me the, some information and all of that? So she actually wanted to look at the research manuals and things of that nature to find out exactly the formulations and what was going in, and look at the clinical trials, from a scientific standpoint, because she was so amazed that within 5 days of her taking just the Balage and the Inner 7, she wasn't even taking the Chrome Weave, just those two products, and it helped her within a week. So it was just awesome. And when my wife was sitting there listening to Dr. Marie talk about what had happened with her and her daughter, my wife actually started getting chill bumps on her arms just listening to what happened. So it's amazing, the formulations that's happening. I'm not a scientist, so I could definitely not go into all the scientific aspects of it, but what I can do is give you the human side of it, and the human side just simply says it works. No matter how we try to explain it, Dr. Franco could go into the medicinal purposes of it, and from a holistic standpoint, he could talk to you about it. But guess what? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a science, but what I am is human. And from a human standpoint, all I could say is it's a fantastic product. It's something that we have that the world needs. And we just need to let as many people as possible know, everybody, that what we have is on the cutting edge of science. And not only is it on the cutting edge of science, it's designed to put us back in a place to where we can have the longevity, we can live longer, healthier lives, we can age gracefully and not just grow old. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Queen Angel.
Thank you so much for sharing your testimony. I do actually have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
That's all right.
Absolutely.
When you were diagnosed with diabetes,
Mhm.
how did you feel? Do you remember how you felt? Like, did you feel like you would ever find anything that would be able to help you, like the products that you're taking now? Did you,
Right. Yeah.
way that maybe one day you wouldn't have to take as much insulin? Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. I can remember like it was yesterday. It was 1997. I was driving. My brother and I were on the freeway, and the first thing that started happening is I felt numbness in my little toe on my left foot, and it was just the only way that I could describe it is how you put a rubber band around your finger, and that feeling that you have, the loss of circulation in your finger from that rubber band being around your finger too tight. Well, that was the same feeling that I felt in my left foot, and I had been feeling it off and on, probably for maybe 2 or 3 months or so, but it was always one of those things that you felt like, well, maybe my foot is just falling asleep, right? But once it started happening more on a consistent basis, I was like, well, maybe I need to go to the doctor. And I did, and I was diagnosed. And it wasn't really a surprise because in my family, we're genetically predisposed to the illness. So two of my dad's brothers were diabetic. My grandmother on my mother's side was diabetic. My brother, that was my middle brother, not the brother that's above me, but the brother that's above him, was diabetic as well. So it wasn't really a surprise to me. I knew that it was a possibility that I could contract the illness. And I've always been healthy. I've always been athletic. I've always worked out. So, and I've always eaten pretty well. So it wasn't the fact that I was doing anything wrong as far as my diet or lack of exercise or anything like that. It was just I was just genetically predisposed to the illness. So, like I said, with me being an athlete, I never wanted to put any kind of foreign substances in my body, which in the beginning I wasn't on insulin at all. It was just a progression of the disease that made me become insulin dependent, because your pancreas, continues to slow down and not do the things that it's supposed to do. So that's why they give you the insulin to make up for the lack of insulin being produced by my pancreas. So with that being said, did I think that I would find something? I didn't know at that point, but I always knew that I wanted to stay healthy. At that time, I was still seeking to get back into the NFL and all those things. So I was still training pretty hard. And, I didn't want to put anything in my body that would make me have a negative drug test. So I looked at all kind of alternative means to help my body to cure itself from the illness. It was very few products out there that did not have a couple of things that was listed on the banned substance list. So I was real particular. So but as the years went on and the disease began to, uh, I guess, show its ugly face even more, which slowed my pancreas down and having me become insulin dependent, it was really imperative that I find something. And at that point, I wasn't really concerned about substances being on the list of banned substances because I wasn't playing anymore. But still, I wanted to make sure it was some things that I was putting into my body that wouldn't harm other aspects of my life. So it was always difficult finding something natural that you could do without, going to like Whole Foods or some of these other places that have natural vitamins and loading up and spending two or $300 on a bunch of different things that was designed to do one thing. So, that was always a concern of mine as well. Am I going to spend, $400 or $500 a month on a bunch of different supplements, or do I just go ahead on and continue to take the insulin? And that's where I found myself. I found myself just continuing to take the insulin until Sankey Global came around, and everything happens for a reason, and it happens in its due season. And it just this particular product, this company came around at the right time,
I
and
never called.
especially just the people that you begin
Okay.
to
Where's the mailbox
know and
key?
fellowship with, i.e. Dr. Franco. This company brought myself and Dr. Franco together, and just for me to be able to have that person that talks so highly
You got to
of what
go.
the products are doing, seeing that he's been a naturopathic healer for 30 years, and to hear him say that he's prayed over the years that it would be something that would come about that would help from a natural standpoint, it just gave it even that much more credibility to me, because I'm like, wow, this gentleman has been in this side of medicine for over 40 years. And if he's putting his stamp of approval on it, who am I to say that maybe I shouldn't try it? I mean, he's been around the naturopathic healing side for 40 plus years. So it made it that much more easy for me to really believe in what this company is doing, and then to see the results so quickly without that loading period. And for anybody on the line that's been in health and wellness and taking supplements and things of that nature, is usually a 7 to 10 day loading period where you have to take more of the products than recommended for it to actually start to metabolize in your system, because a lot of time you're going to pee or poop it out because of it needs to get into your system fully for it to start to work. Well, when this system starts to work in 15 minutes, you know what I mean? That was just something that just really blew me away. I'm like, wow, 15 minutes? Are you kidding me? And then for us to actually be able to see it. And then when I went to Memphis um, um, to help Dr. Franco with this presentation down there, he did the same presentation with the microscanner there. And I tell you, when folks saw the results, looking at it through the microscanner, pretty much everybody that was there either became a customer or they actually joined us in business because of that wow factor, guys. When we have something like what we have, and is documented, for one, because of all the research manuals, but when you can actually see it work right in front of your eyes, I mean, it's huge. And for me to see it without seeing it, which means, for me, for my body to react so quickly to it, it's just been a no brainer for me. And I'm like, I don't care if nobody believes what I'm saying. I know what it's doing for myself, in my own personal health journey. So that was just huge for me in that aspect.
Awesome. Thank you. And I just have one more really quick question for you,
Sure.
if that's possible. I promise it's the
Mhm.
last one.
No,
With you
that's fine.
using the products,
Mhm.
do you see or think that there will ever be a time where you will have to stop using insulin and you can just take the products and be completely
Absolutely.
done with diabetes?
Yes, that is
Great.
actually my goal. My goal is to be totally insulin free. And I know that, it's definitely a journey. And I know that with me being on the other side of 40, 45, I know my metabolism is slowing down, and it's just a natural progression of aging. So I'm continually exercising. I try to get out as much as I can. I try to eat as healthy as possible. I'm working on it, Dr. Franco, trying to cut those meats and those dairy products out, because I know that, Dr. Franco talks about it all the time, eating more live foods, and how you expect it to live, and you're eating death. So I'm trying to slowly not eat the meats and those type of things. And I know, I'm almost 100% sure that with the change in diets, me eating more live foods, drinking plenty of water, eating, more water in my diet, and the Sankey products, I'm pretty much guaranteed to get off the insulin, because my dosages are continually going down. So it's just a matter of time where I'll be insulin free.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, first and foremost, because time is very important. And I want to thank you for your heartwarming testimony. It's very close to my heart because my grandmother actually deals with diabetes. So to know that there is somebody who is using the products that deals with the same thing she's dealing with, and you have positive results, I know now for a fact that I'm definitely going to push her to try these products, and definitely going to push her, hey, you need to start doing this on a regular basis because I want you to be around for a while. But I want to say thank you so much. We're actually going to have two more quick testimonies so that we can get ready for our 12 o'clock Lifestyle Connect call. I want to see if Mrs. Rhonda Isaac is on the phone from Trinidad. But before I bring her on the phone, I just want to talk about her just a little quick, brief situation.
Gosh.
And you guys, my memory is somewhat bad. So if you see me reading, I'm writing. I write down things that mean things to me in my mind. Miss Rhonda Isaac is definitely somebody. When I met her, first thing I thought was, wow, this woman is fearless. Everything that she sets her mind to, she gets it done. Everything she wants to do, she needs to do, or she even thinks about doing, it's already done in her mind. She puts forth the work and she gets it done. She's amazing to be around. Every time I've seen her, she always has brought me peace. She's always brought me good understanding, and she's always brought me great conversation. It's never been any bad or dull moments with her. So I want to know, is Miss Rhonda Isaac on the line with us today?
Yes, I am Queen Angel.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
thank you very much for such a lovely introduction. But I would also like to let everyone know, I met Queen Angel last November, and she was also a total inspiration for me, meeting someone who is young, but yet focused, spiritually grounded, and is able to help inspire others. And I actually look up to her to be able to inspire other young people and help lead and guide them on the right path. And I do believe that God has a work for you, and you have started on your journey and will continue to help other young people find their path, because at your age, at that tender age, you find that people are usually lost You're not sure where you're supposed to be. You're not sure what life has brought you here for. And to find your direction and purpose is something that, people are looking for. And Queen Angel, being filled with all the knowledge that she has, all the accreditation, she has so much experience in different areas. She would be able to really help some young people find their purpose and find their cause and their journey in terms of what they want to do in this life. So thank you very much, Queen Angel, for such a lovely introduction again. And it's
No,
a
thank you. Thank
pleasure
you so much. Thank you
to
for
hear
that.
you doing the call.
Yes, ma'am. And take us away.
Yes. For me personally, the products spoke to me within the first couple days because I'm a person that loves ice cream, and there are some people who would understand the love for ice cream. So you find that you can't really separate me from ice cream. But understanding that ice cream is one of those mucus forming foods, I have always been one of those to suffer with sinuses. So you find that I found that my nasal passage is always congested. I used to have sinus pressure between the eyes and stuff like that. And within the first 2 days of using the product, I was amazed to see myself blowing my nose constantly and feeling the mucus just draining out of my body. And if you know or understand that everybody has mucus in their body, as it lodges in different areas, you find that people have difficulty with different issues. And that is what the product was able to do for me just from using it the first 2 days. It was able to start clearing my sinus and removing the mucus from in my nasal passage.
Well, I definitely understand where you're coming there because every morning when I wake up, I have a lot of congestion, really bad congestion. And I did not know that about the ice cream being a mucus builder. So that's actually something really good to know. But being a holistic healer and a natural pathologist, what ingredients do you think that are in these products is really helping others to reverse their bodies? Well, helping everybody to reverse their bodies and to be just a better person inside and out.
Well, I believe that the major contributor would have to be the metabolites, because outside of that, most of the other stuff is stuff that the body can basically relate to, like the black bean and the um, olive and rosemary are just, as Dr. Edie said, they're ordinary plants. They are things that the body is familiar with. However, understanding that is not so much what we eat, but what we absorb. And this is where the metabolites come in to really open our bodies to absorb the nutrition that we've been using in the foods today. And that is where the real benefits come in, because I've used many different natural supplements. And similar to what Queen Giselle was telling you, it works and it helps with the body, but the pace at which it works with is what we usually don't see. It usually just moves pretty slowly, whereas this has been able to now open the cells and allow the nutrition to really get in within a rush of a time to really deliver what the body needs.
Well, thank you for that information. And is there any regular schedule or how, okay, how would you tell someone to take the products? Would you tell them to take 2 Biologics in the morning, the inner 7? Like, how do you put in as far as a schedule for the products that you take? What is your schedule?
My schedule is personally just one a day, but in terms of using the product, it all depends on the person and what they need it for. When it comes to persons who are ill, you are looking at therapeutic dosage. You're looking at somebody who needs to use it on a more regular basis to get a greater rush of nutrients into the body. So you want to be able to increase the dosage. Dr. Idias highlighted that we can go as much as up to 6 sachets a day with the Crenouille, not the Crenouille, the Belage, right? But that I would probably recommend for somebody who is critical, who has stage 4, stage 5 cancer, in order to give that quick rush of nutrients to reverse the issues in the body and to stabilize the body. So most persons, basically 1 or 2 sachets can actually do a lot for you. And that is what we've been seeing. So in terms of increasing the dosage would be dependent on the illness, the state of the body, and how much repair that needs to be done, as well as how quick you need to get that repair process happening.
Well, thank you so much for your information, and I really am appreciative for you to be on the call today, just to give us a little deeper insight on how you feel about the products and how they have helped you. Dr. Franco, is there anything that you would like to say with conclusion so that we can close out the call?
Well, I tell you what, I feel like I've been on the call with an absolute positive expert in delivery and hosting. So I have just been, they say that the fruit don't fall far from the tree. Well, you prove that that's true today. I mean, you know, your strength, your humility, your compassion, your power. Yes, you're a mini me, but you've got your own way of doing things, and that's powerful. So I'm looking forward to working with you more and more and more as we go forward on this journey. I would just like to say that what makes our product so important, and it was alluded to several times by individuals like Dr. Rhonda Isaac, is that what's in our products, these nutritional elements, these ingredients that come from the fermented products like the rosemary and the olive leaf and so forth. Basically what it is, it's not medical, it's not man's medical medicine. Our formulas are nutritional, they're God's nutritional medicine. You know, you've got a pharmacy that's PHARMACY, and then you got God's pharmacy that's FARMACY, if you hear what I'm saying. So there's a big difference in God's pharmacy and man's pharmacy. And his pharmacy is nutritional medicine, That's why I'll say that I'm the national director of nutritional medicine, because that's what Sankey is all about, the future of medicine. And if we could take it to the word of God in Ezekiel 47:12, if I could just break it down simply says that the fruit of the tree would be your meat or your food, and the leaves thereof your medicine. That's the same thing that Hippocrates, the so-called father of medicine, said. He said, let your medicine be your food and your food be your medicine. And that's exactly what Bahia Diaz, Dr. Diaz has done. He's created formulations that are letting the food and the medicine come from the same tree. That's why it works for 100% of the people, 100% of the time. Again, I have just enjoyed your hosting. I've enjoyed all these wonderful testimonies. Some I hadn't heard before, others that are just encouraging me even more. I have a couple, but I'll save most of those for later. But I collapsed the day before Thanksgiving. I've collapsed 3 or 4 times in 40 years, just running hard, trying to heal the world, thinking that I'm God, Superman or something. I don't know. Just run. But normally it would take a week or 2 to come back. This time, because I started taking the Belage when I came home from the emergency room, I never went down. I came home, I slept for 6 or 7 hours, got up, took the canoe, went to work, baked all this bread, made all these turkeys, made them okay from all natural ingredients. But the key is we worked hard, my wife and I, getting out these dinners. Most of the night, I got up next morning, kept going, and hadn't been down since. And the only difference in all these years, even with my own products, is that I was taking the Belage, the Canoe, and the Inner 7. So again, I simply say these powerful products are products that we've got to continue to tell people about. I thank everybody for the testimonies that we had today, and that's pretty much all I have to say, except once again, it has been a plum pleasing pleasure just being online when Miss Angel Della Huse, our powerful host, is on the line. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to being beside you again and again and again and again. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
I am too. I am too. I want to say thank you. You're such a phenomenal speaker. And every time I come in contact with you, it's always great conversation. And I want to thank you for working with me today because I called you and you knew I was nervous, but you definitely helped me out. And I want to thank you. That meant a lot to me. Well, you guys heard it here first. This is life changing. This information, this call. I want to tell you guys, please be safe. Double down on your products, you guys. They work. If you use them, they'll work for you. I promise you. So you guys be safe. There was definitely a lot of good nuggets on this call, a lot of good deposits. So I hope you guys had your pen and paper like I had mine. And I want you guys to take that information and really use it and stick to it because, hey, you can only go up from here and become a better person. So I hope you guys had a great call. I enjoyed being with you guys, and I'm very honored to even be able to speak or co-host. So I hope you guys have a great day and see you guys at the 12 o'clock for the Life Connect.